Hey y'all, welcome back. I'm Ashleen Seitz, and I am a writer, a coach, and a goofball, and we're here today to talk about writing. We're still going through some basic habits of writing, and today we're going to talk about when in doubt, make a plan. And there is a huge reason why we are talking about this after just sitting down and write something, or after working through your habits and trying to find a rhythm to actually writing every day and writing first every day. There's a reason we're talking about this after that, because this is not a substitute for actually getting the writing done. Making a plan is just something to do if you come into an obstacle, if you're having trouble pushing past a problem, then you can pause and make a plan. But there's no substitute for actually sitting down and writing. Eventually, you do have to do that. So keep in mind, this is a great option if you're struggling, if you're hitting a hard point. I think in the creative process, we all have those moments where we're just suddenly like, hit a problem. I don't know what to do next. Not sure how to get through this paragraph or how to develop this character or whatever. And so if that happens to you, you can take this opportunity to pause, breathe for a moment, and make a plan. So today we're going to talk about 3 ways you can do that, and kind of for different genres, basically. And so there's one way you can do that. You can make a plot outline if you're working on a novel. And this can be like a chapter by chapter thing. I recently got a little stumped in one of my crime novels, and I just was feeling like, gosh, where am I going with this? And so I took an hour and I plotted out the next 10 chapters. And then when I went back, I was like, oh wow, this is much easier. Okay, now I know where I'm going, where I'm headed. So if you're writing fiction, it really does help to create a plot outline of where you're headed, and it can be chapter by chapter or just broad strokes. Have a sense of where you're trying to get to, and then if things change along the way, that's okay. But making that plan. And then the second thing is, if you're writing nonfiction of any kind, really, just making an outline. And you can do this before you start, or you can do this once you get stumped. Creating an outline where you're saying, these are the points I'm trying to get to. You can even like if you're creating a blog post, you can be even more specific. These are my 5 points. This is what I want my intro to focus on. This is what I want the ending to focus on. This is the call to action at the end. And then it really makes it easier to just come up with the content to put in those spots. And if then you kind of feel kind of stiff and like, I don't know. Well, you can leave the script. That's totally fine. You don't have to stay on script. But it's an option to help you get going and get working on your project. And then the third thing is map out your goals and deadlines. This one's tough for me. I'm going to be honest. I don't do well setting my own deadlines. Can be a little bit challenging for some of us. And then others of us thrive under deadlines and love checking that box off. I love checking it off, but I'm not good at creating deadlines for myself and sticking to them. So saying, okay, I want to have 6 blog posts done for the next month. I'm going to write 6 this month so that I have 2 extra for next month. And here's the deadline for that. Or making a goal of, I want to finish writing the first draft of a novel by 3 months from now. Or whatever that looks like for you, deciding, okay, this is what it's going to look like. This is how I will know I'm done. And this is when I will be done. And if that changes, if you have, life happens, things pop up. If you have to change that, that's okay. But just working toward that goal and figuring out what your goals are can be incredibly helpful in momentum and inspiring you to actually sit down and write. I would say with goals, it's always helpful to add in other people for accountability and encouragement. So anytime you can, say, hey, my goal is to do this by this date, and I want you to ask me about it once, just once, and then see what happens. And knowing that they'll ask about it usually helps me just to keep working on it. So those are the basics. Yes, you have to sit down and write something eventually. But if you're stuck, if you're feeling stumped, you're not sure where to go next, sit down, take a deep breath, and make a plan. All right? That's a pretty simple word for this week. Guys, I'm excited to have some subscribers. Thanks for joining me on this writing journey. Pretty fun. So if you're not subscribed yet, hit the little button at the bottom. And what am I reading this week? I am about to start Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I'm going to read it hopefully today. I have a flight later today, and I'm going to read it hopefully today because I'm doing some research for a freelance gig that I'm picking up, and I'm really excited to try it. I just haven't had the opportunity, so I'm really interested to see what it's like because I've heard so many people talk about Diary of the Wimpy Kid, this whole series. So I'm interested. I'll keep you posted on that. Let me know what you're reading in the comments. I'd love to hear about it and what you think and what drew you to it and all of that. And I'd also love to hear if any of this stuff is working for you. If you're like, man, that one point really hit home. I'm really helpful. Or if you're like, yeah, you're kind of crazy. I want to know that too. Let me know. All right, guys. Talk to you next time.